Mahsa, I guess we'll start out with some of the things that you and I have both been reporting about the law, and we can just kind of go back and forth about it. Yeah. I think one of the changes that's gotten a lot of attention in the press is the drop boxes, since we're looking at that video on the screen right there. Do you want to break down for viewers what the changes in drop boxes are?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so this new law limits the hours that you can drop off your ballot at early voting sites. So, for example, here in Hillsborough County, we had during the last election 26 early voting sites. The early voting period was from October 19th until November 1st, so it did include weekends. Early voting hours were from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. and at each early voting site, remember, because this was not election day voting, you could drop off your mail ballot at any one of these 26 sites in Hillsborough County. You could drop off your ballot outside at a drop box. The change after this new law, you can no longer drop off your ballot after hours. So you could still drop off your mail ballot from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. during early voting at any one of the early voting sites, but you could not do it at 7:30, for example.
Let me jump in right there, Mahsa. There was some question earlier from viewers. I got this question after several of the stories I did about what if they are monitored, because the law says that they can be monitored, right? So how does that fit in?
Early voting sites, no. My understanding at supervisor of elections offices, yes. So if your supervisor of elections office here in Hillsborough, there's actually 4 offices for Craig Latimer, the supervisor of elections here. If they choose to staff that box 24/7, you can drop it off 24/7. My understanding is that only applies to supervisor of elections offices and not the early voting sites.
So that would cut out 22 drop
26.
boxes.
Well, after hours, yeah.
Right, but 26 is how many we had. 4 will still be available because they're at the offices?
Yes.
Is that on top of the 26 or part of the 26?
Yeah, so there's 26 drop boxes in Hillsborough County at 26 early voting sites, and there would be 4 drop boxes in Hillsborough outside the 4 supervisor of elections sites. You can utilize all of those drop boxes still. The only difference is you cannot drop off your mail ballot after hours at an early voting site and possibly at a supervisor of elections office unless they staff it. A surveillance camera will not do. And supervisor of elections, they were very upset about this because they wanted to be able to have a 24-hour drop box if it had surveillance cameras.